Hello, grade 9. Inshallah, today we are going to study lesson 3-4, which is talking about solving multi-step inequalities. Lesson 3-4 in your book. So the objective to study this lesson is learn to solve multi-step inequalities. When you solve two-step equation, you can use the order of operations in reserve. They isolate the variable. You can use the same process when you're solving multi-step inequalities. Then multi-step equations and multi-step inequalities, we can use the same order, the same method to solve, but the difference that equation we have only the sign equal, which makes the both two sides are the same, but the inequality we have 4 sign, which is we can say that with the inequality we can use less than or equal, more than or more than or equal. So don't forget that we have 2 different signs to compare between 2 sides. They are not equal because this is called inequality. Let's start with the first question. With the first question, we have y over 2 minus 6 is more than 1. In this case, where is the variable in this part? The variable is y. Our target to find y more than how many? Then y over 2 minus 6 more than 1. First step, you have 2 options. To add the additive inverse for both, or to transfer one to the opposite side. So it's your decision. Look at negative 6, so we can find the additive inverse of negative 6, which is 6. So we will add 6 to both sides. Now we have y over 2 more than 7. What about y over 2? We are looking for only the value of y. So we will multiply both sides by 2. Why? To cancel L2, and then it's easy to find the y only, the variable y. Now we have y more than 14. How we are going to represent it on the number line? Think. First, it's y. So for sure, we have a blank circle. Here, y is more than 13, right? More than 14. Then it will be 14 and more or more than 14. You have to think about this point. In this case, it's y more than 14. So if I will substitute the value of y in this case by 14, the inequality, it will be correct or wrong? If I will put 14 more than 14, is this correct? No. For this reason, it will be more than 14. We will draw the number line and we are going to put a blank circle on 14, and then it will move to the right side, which means all the numbers bigger than 14, it will be a solution for this inequality. Not only 15 and 16, because it's a real number. So if I would say 14.1, 14.2, 15, 16, and so on, any number bigger than 14, it will be a solution for this question. So for the inequality, I don't have a specific answer like the equation. So the equation, we said sometimes we have one solution, another time we have 2 solutions, no solutions, but with inequality, we have many. Why? Because you are going to determine the part which it will be a solution for this inequality, which means it's not only one number, maybe we have infinite number of solutions. Another question. First of all, we have to look for the variable. Where is the variable in this question? The variable is m. Then we have to transfer anything next to m first. So here we have 8. Then, according to our plan, we have to remove 8 at the beginning. So we will add the additive inverse for this one, which means we will add -8 or subtract 8 for both sides. Then it will be -3 more than or equal m over -3. Your problem now is -3. We want to remove it. We want to simplify. Then we will multiply both by -3. But in this case, take care for something. You are going to multiply by a negative number. So as I said before, once you are going to multiply or to divide by a negative number, we have to reverse the inequality simply. Instead of bigger than or equal, it will be less than or equal. Now we will start to simplify. Then you have m, it will be more than or equal 9. Look at this one. I didn't reserve it. It was 9 less than or equal m. If you will rearrange or rewrite it again, this not means that I reserve the sign. I only rewrite the inequality to put m in your left hand. If I want to represent this one now in number line, so we are going to draw the number line. Now I have m more than or equal, so we have to make a shaded circle. It's not a blank circle like the first question. Now we have m is more than or equal 9, so it will go to the right side, so we have to extend the line to the right side. Again, that not means only 9 and more. It could be 9, 9.1, 9.2, 12.1, any number while you are passing through 9. And 9 is apart from the answer now, which means if I'm going to replace m and put instead of it 9, so the inequality, it will be correct because it will be 9 more than or equal 9, correct answer. Then once you have more than or equal, so you have to keep in your mind that the number in the left side for the inequality, it could be one from the solutions which you can substitute and find as a value of m. Another question. It's your turn now. Try to answer this question by yourself. Check. First, we will add the additive inverse. Second, we are going to multiply by the denominator, and then we will find the answer. And by the end, we are going to represent it by the number line. And this one, it will be a blank circle, and it will go to the right side. Another question. And then multiply by -2. Take care. What's going to happen? We are going to reserve the sign for the inequality. Instead of bigger than, it will be less than. You will draw the number line and then you will extend the line. Okay. Add the additive inverse, multiply by the denominator, represent. If it's more than only or less than only, it will be a blank circle. And if it's more than, we will extend to the right side. If it's less than, we will extend to the left side. What about if we have a question like this? Solve then graph. 6y minus 5 minus 2y less than 6y minus 5 minus 2y less than 11. What do you notice in this question? So we have 6y and -2y, and we have -5. So the first step, we are going to combine the like term together, which means it will be 4y minus 5. You have 6y minus 2y, like 6 minus 2, it will be equal 4y. So it will be 4y minus 5 less than 11. Now, normal steps, we will add 5, additive inverse, or you can transfer it to the opposite side with different sign. It's up to you. Now we have 4y equal less than 16. We will divide it by 4 for both sides, which means I have y less than 4. Then it's a blank circle, and it will move to the left side. Another question. What about if you have a number before the parentheses? Number before the parentheses, so we have to use distributive property first. So negative 11 and then 2 times negative 3x and then 2 times 1 plus 5. It will be negative 11 more than or equal negative 6x plus 7. It becomes normal inequality now. We will add the additive inverse, which means we will subtract 7 from the both sides, and then it will be negative 18 less than negative 6. We will divide it by negative 6 for both sides. Then don't forget that we have to reverse the inequality sign, which means the answer, it should be x is less than or equal L3. In this case, we have Lx is more than, it should be, I'm sorry here, it should be less than or equal, which means it will be a shaded circle and it will move to the left side. Here, in this one, we have to correct it. It's less than, sorry, it was more than, I'm sorry, it was more than, so we flipped the sign. So it becomes less than or equal, and then it will be x is more than or equal 3. Look at the sign at the beginning, it was more than or equal. At the end, it becomes less than or equal. For this reason, we have to extend to the right side because you have to look at side for x. X here is more than or equal 3. Then you will extend the line. So in case if you have a parentheses and you have a number before the parentheses, then we will simplify the parentheses first by distributing the number over the parentheses, then you will simplify. Another question, by the same way, we will combine the like term together, then it will be 2y minus 3, add the additive inverse for both, then you have 2y less than 12. We don't have any problem here because the coefficient is positive, so we have to divide it by 2 for both. Then it will be 2y divided by 2 and 12 divided by 2. So I have y less than 6. In this case, we have to plot the point on 6 and where we have to extend, to the right or to the left. Exactly, it will be to the left side. In this case, it's your turn to try to solve it by yourself. What we have to do, we have to distribute a number over the parentheses by the same way. So we have to keep negative 7 and then we will multiply 2 times negative 4 one time and then 2 times 1 a second time. Then it will be 2 times negative 4 and then 2 times 2. Then negative 7 more than or equal negative 8x plus 9. Add the additive inverse, which is negative 9. So we have negative 8x and we have negative 16. We have a negative sign. Once we will divide it by the negative sign, then we will flip the sign for the inequality, which means we have x is more than or equal 2, then it will be 2 shaded circle, and then we will move to the right side. Also, we can find a word problem in this lesson for the inequality. Sunli has $30 to spend at the carnival. A dimension is $5 and each ride costs $2. What is the greatest number of rides she can ride? So here in this question, let R represent the number of rides Sun Lu can ride. Then in this one, do you know how many or what is the number of rides she can ride? No, we don't know. For this reason, we said let R represent the number of rides Sun Lu can ride. Second, Sun Lai has $30 to spend. So the maximum value which can expand is 30. Okay, so any number you have to use it should be less than or equal 30. Then her budget to spend at the carnival is $30. Admission is $5, so this is the basic. You have to pay $5, and each ride costs $2. So we have to put a variable for each time she's going to ride, $2. For this reason, we wrote 2R plus 5 less than or equal 30. Because her budget at the beginning, it was 30. So she can't take more. You have in your pocket $30 and you want to buy something, then you have to buy 30 or less. And this is the same idea. She put for herself to spend $30 at the carnival. And the admission is 5. So she has to pay $5. And each time she's going to ride the cost $2. Then we are going to form the inequality. Let R represent the number of rides Sunlu can ride, and then we will solve by a normal inequality, add the additive inverse, and then 2R, and then 12 R less than 12 and a half. Then Sunlu can ride only a whole number, because I can't say I'm going to ride 12 and a half. But what is the maximum number which she can ride is only 12. I can say 13 in this case. Nothing called you are going to ride 12 and a half. In this case, you are going to ride the maximum number which she can ride is 12. One more question. In this question, Price has $30 to take his brother and his friends to the movies. Then what is the budget which he put it for himself is 30. And each ticket costs 4. So we can say 4x or 4y or 4t. And he must buy tickets for himself and his brother. What is the greatest number of friends he can invite? So let's say, let T represent the number of tickets. 8 plus 4T less than or equal 30. Why? Because he said, if each ticket costs $4, so you put 4T, and the must buy tickets for himself, and he must buy tickets for himself and his brother. So in this case, what is the greatest number of friends he can invite? We are going to make what? It will be 8 plus 4T less than or equal 30. So his brother and his friends, we want to know how many friends he can invite for his budget to be 30. Normal, and then the answer, it will be equal 5.5. So how many friends he can invite? We can't move up. It should be moved down. So it will be 5 friends. To invite 5 friends, and himself and his brother. Thank you for watching. This is your turn. So please, you can answer this question and send it to me. Thank you. Grade 9.